All right, good afternoon, Dr. Reed. It's Rowdy Spears. Thank you for giving me the extra time to get this in once my lab kit got here. First thing I want to show you is it's just me and my print off from the lab 1, or lab 2, sorry. And this is pretty much all I have around me other than my sheet here. So we're going to go over the introduction of the fetal pig, starting with the exterior. All right, we have the head region here. Pretty self-explanatory. We have the neck region here. Goes all the way around, obviously. The trunk is consistent of the skull, the thoracic cage here, and also your this area here, not your limbs, but this is here. And then you have your tail region. Obviously, is going to be coming from that pelvic region over to where the tail is at. And then let's determine the gender of this pig here. So if you can see here, if I look underneath the spinal cord, or not the spinal cord, but the umbilical cord, I see that there's no hole there. But if I come back here, I see there's the anus, and there's also the genitalia hole right here. So this is a female pig. Alright, so moving on, we have the axial skeleton, which is consists of the skull, the vertical column, which is in the back here, and the thoracic cage, which we talked about, also the ribs. I love pork ribs. Then we have the so the skulls here. The vertebral column is going to be what the spine is going down on. The thoracic cage is those ribs we were talking about. Now the appendicular skeleton region is the humerus. The humerus is going to be similar to the bicep. So it's going to be this. Not this first leg here, but it's going to be the other part here connecting. So you can kind of see that where that bend is. This bend here is the humerus bone. We have the femur, which is going to be like the thigh bone. So it's going to be this high thigh. Can you see that there? This high thigh bone here. It's kind of hard, big. We have the tibia, which I consider kind of like your shin area, right here. So as that bone bends, it turns into here, right here. And then you have your joints capable of flexion. It's going to be right here, kind of where I tied up the actual. These are the joints right here. Anywhere I can bend that actual skeleton. So moving on to the muscles of the fetal pig. All right, we have the pectoralis major, which is kind of like the pectorals, which is it's a fan-like that comes over the top of the thoracic cage, so it's right here from the shoulder over. The latissimus dorsi, which is kind of like we call it the lats when we work out, which is going to be kind of from this area here up to, I lost that piece, so the muscle that's right here. We have the deltoids, which is going to be that kind of where that trapezius of the deltoids where the shoulder meets. We have the rectus abdominis. That's going to be, that center abs, that 8-pack that this pig does not have, but they have little nipples here. This is going to be that rectus abdominis. The transverse abdominis is going to be what I like to consider obliques when I'm trying to work that. So it's going to be that the side abs that keeps that whole body stable. And the gluteus medius is going to be that top of the butt here, working into that thigh there. All right, so some of the questions we have. So back again, I had to kind of stop the film so I could flip it over and make the incision here. But if you can see here, zoom in a little bit on the spine here. All right, so the next part says, do you notice a covering on the spinal cord? Absolutely. There's a couple of coverings. One, we have a hard shell here, which is going to be that cerebral, vertebral cerebral column is actually going to be these hard, almost like cartilage, but coverings. Right underneath there, we've got a couple of layers of meninges. I don't know if I can get in there without tearing this pig up too much, but there's 3 layers. There's a dura mater. You got your which is kind of that durable hard shell outer piece. Then we have the I want to say arachnoid matter, which actually encases the cerebral spinal fluid. And then last you have, underneath between the cerebral spinal fluid and the subarachnoid matter, we have the pia matter. Those are kind of like what encases the actual spine. So what is the difference between white and gray matter? Well, white matter, I guess I'll leave it. White matter is actually it's a casing. It's called myelinated. So it's like your spine nerves, or the nerves that are actually, what are you doing? Stop, you confuse me. What are you talking about? All right, so what is the difference between white and gray matter? Well, white matter is considered myelinated nerve cells, which are, it's an encase. It's an encase. Usually those nerves or axions can transmit signals faster, while gray matter is unmyelinated or uncovered nerve cells, which are used for different purposes. All of it's connected to the central nervous system. In the brain, the gray matter is usually on the top, which we'll get to when we dissect the brain, and on the spine, the white matter is actually on the outside, and then the gray matter is on the inside. So go ahead and pause there. So moving on to the endocrine system of the fetal pig, it asks a question here: explain how insulin regulates glucose levels in the blood. Well, I know this from having a family with diabetes, but your pancreas actually produces insulin when your blood glucose levels are too high. And what that does is it kind of converts that glucose into fat stores or fat deposits. So that's how it kind of balances that glucose levels in your blood. So it balances through your pancreas. And what is unique about the glands of the endocrine system? Well, your body kind of works like a hot tub or a swimming pool. You got to get your pH balances right. So whenever your pH balances is wrong, somewhere within your body, your endocrine system helps regulate that by either adding to or reducing, makes that pH balance correct within every organism in the body. So that's how the endocrine system works. And that is it. Thank you.